This video is a guide to passing half guard. It will be a mix of practical and conceptual advice, and will be especially helpful for beginners. Let's not waste any time, let's get right into it. You need to keep your opponent flat to the mat. You need to pin them. You know how in wrestling a way to win is to pin your opponent? If you get both their shoulders flat on the mat, you win in wrestling. In jiu-jitsu, you don't automatically win when you pin your opponent, but pinning your opponent will certainly make it easier to win. And in the case of half guard specifically, pinning your opponent will make it much easier to pass them. You need to keep their shoulders flat to the mat, otherwise they will be able to attack you easier, with both sweeps and submissions. In these clips, I would not have been successful with my attacks if my opponents were able to pin my shoulders to the mat. Here's a great example. In the clip on the left, I'm able to lock up a Kimura as my opponent wasn't able to keep my shoulders pinned. In this clip on the right, he can't lock up a Kimura because I'm keeping him pinned. He can't reach to lock it up unless he can take his shoulders off the mat like I do in the clip on the left. So we know we need to pin the upper body to the mat. But how do we do that? You need to get a hold of their upper body with your arms or a combination of your arms and your head. This connects you to them and enables you to more easily keep them pinned to the mat. Specifically, where you're looking to get a hold of and connect to on the upper body is under their elbows and or control of their head. These are extremely powerful areas of the upper body to control, just in general, but especially in half guard. This is why from the bottom of half guard, I always recommend prioritizing never letting someone grab your head. For example, here I'm not letting my opponent get a hold of my upper body. I'm using my T-Rex arms to prevent control of my head and prevent them from getting their arms inside my elbows. Where and how you grab inside the elbows or control of the head is really just dependent on what is available. But typically you're going to want to take one of three configurations: a crossface underhook, an underhook and head block, as well as double underhooks. There are other ways of connecting to the upper body, like here, I have what's called a reverse underhook. Or here I'm able to pass just fine even though my opponent has an underhook on me, as I'm still able to pin him enough to keep myself safe and complete the pass. But for a beginner, what I recommend is searching for the crossface and underhook, underhook and head block, or double underhooks. Let's look at each of them specifically. Crossface and underhook. This is a very standard and effective way to grip from many different positions. From the back, it's called the seatbelt grip, and from half guard, it's called a crossface and underhook, but they're effectively the same thing. What a crossface does is control the head, preventing the head from turning. As where the head goes, the body must follow. Controlling the head allows you to pin the shoulders. A crossface doesn't always have to be deep with your bicep on the face. Depending on the situation, a shallow crossface may be all you can get and all you need. Shallow meaning that it's your wrist or forearm pressuring the face rather than your bicep. Crossface and underhook configuration is great, but it does come with the trade-off that your arms are now committed to their upper body, and you can't really use them to help elsewhere, like to extract your leg, which is a con within its pros and cons to be aware of. Crossface and head block. What a head block is simply using your head as a crossface. The crossface and head block functions very similarly to the crossface and underhook, but with the added benefit that your would-be crossface is now free to help you do other things, like help you extract your leg to pass or other helpful things, like finding opportunities to grab near side underhooks so that you can have double underhooks, which is the last grip configuration that we'll cover before moving on. Double underhooks. Double underhooks are great because that additional near side underhook functions similarly to a crossface or a head block, as it controls the near side of the body. But it also has the added benefit of making it harder for them to use that arm that you're underhooking against you. Whereas with the crossface and underhook, or head block and underhook, your opponent has that arm free to use against you, and it has potential to slow you down or prevent the pass in general. We looked at the upper body, and now it's time to look at the lower body. First things first, you need to get in front of and stay in front of the knee that's trapped between your legs. This is so important. Just like you need to pin and immobilize the shoulders, you also need to pin and immobilize the hips. And you can do that much more easily with the knee of your outside leg in front of your opponent's inside knee. Pinning their hips will help prevent things like them extracting their leg to put you in close guard, or bringing their outside leg in front of you to use as a knee shield or butterfly hook, in which cases you'll have then regressed within the lower body battle. In all these clips, I'm prioritizing getting in front of that knee so I can better control the hips. Once you're there, you want to stay there. You want to keep their upper leg between your knees until you're ready to extract your leg and complete the pass. You can do so by pinching your knees together or using the foot of your outside leg, or your hand too, whatever you need to use to achieve this important objective. If you aren't able to pin the hips, your opponent will have a much easier time attacking you, and it's improving their position in general. We looked at what to do before extracting your leg: get a hold of the upper body to pin the shoulders, stay in front of the knee to pin the hips. Now it's time to look at how to extract the leg so you can actually pass the guard. The easiest way to think of extracting the trapped leg is to think of it in steps. Step 1, free your knee. Step 2, free your ankle. It's really that simple, although it's not always that easy, but it is very helpful to think of it like this. To free your knee, a helpful thing to think about is to build height with your hips. Because in this chest-to-chest half guard, you're hip to hip with your opponent, and you need room to actually get your leg out, roughly the length of your upper leg, as that's what's stuck. One helpful tip if your knee remains stuck is to shake up and down, as it makes it much more difficult for your opponent to keep a hold of your knee. Now the next step is to either bring your knee to the near side hip into what's called quarter guard, or their far side hip into what's called 3/4 mount. You can now move on to the next step of freeing your ankle, freeing the trapped ankle. Let's start with quarter guard, where your knee is located at the near side hip. Available from here is what's called a knee slide. The knee slide is one of the most common ways to pass half guard, and for good reason. It's quite effective. What you want to do is keep your hip nice and low, hip to hip, and angle your knee outwards. To free your ankle, usually but not always, you'll need the assistance of your non-trapped foot to help you free your trapped foot. The knee slide is the primary pass you have available when you're in quarter guard, so let's now move on to 3/4 mounts. Mount entry. Mount is a great option from 3/4 mount, as from here, you're basically in mount except your ankle is trapped. To free your ankle and enter mount, you can use the foot of your free leg, the instep of that foot specifically, to help pry out your trapped foot into mount. Far side knee slide. What a far side knee slide is using your non-trapped knee to pry out your trapped knee by bringing it to the other side, the far side. I really like this one because it often comes as a surprise, as it's maybe a bit unorthodox, but it being unexpected just makes it more effective. Lastly, we'll look at the rolling back attack, a move in which you'll actually not be looking to free your ankle, as your trapped ankle will act as a hook once you've taken the back. I have an old video all about the rolling back attack, so check that out if you want a more in-depth breakdown. Backstepping. The last section of this video is about backstepping. Backstepping is a very powerful way to extract your leg, but I think of it as something that's more so opportunistic. If you feel your opponent momentarily not adequately controlling your leg, often a big step backwards will free your leg. This is especially true against half guard butterfly, but also is true for the standard half guard. Now a quick summary before we wrap this up. Pin your opponent's hips and shoulders to the mat. Do this by controlling their head and inside their elbows. Use your arms and your head to do so. Focus on this more so than any specific configuration. Now free your knee. Build height to help you do so. Once your knee is free, position it to either hip. Now free your ankle. And finally, backstep if the opportunity presents itself. Note that there are other ways of passing half guard, but what I've included here is what I consider to be very much the meat and potatoes of passing half guard. So I hope it was helpful.